Hey everyone, my name is Chase, and I've been playing a lot of Mario Party Superstars. Like, a lot. And I have to say, after all the hours that I've logged into this game, it's pretty darn good. All of the boards are great, the minigame selection is good, for the most part, and the customization in this game is a huge step up from previous Mario Party titles. But with all that being said, this game definitely isn't perfect. With all the games that I've played, I've come up with some ideas in my head for things that can be improved, or completely reworked. But rather than just keeping these ideas to my Mario Party friend group, I thought it would be a good idea to make a video about it, and share all of my ideas. Just a disclaimer that every idea that I have in this video is my opinion. So, for example, if you guys think that the golden pipe being sold at the item shop for 25 coins is balanced, then be my guest. Okay, let's hop into it. Alright, so I sort of alluded to this with the comment that I just made, but we're going to be discussing what I consider to be the biggest issue with this game right off the bat. The item system. Now hold on, because while I do think that items are the biggest issue with this game, that doesn't mean that I think they're awful. In fact, I think the collection of items in Mario Party Superstars is really good, but the pricing of the items is where I have a problem. In my opinion, many items in this game are very underpriced for the value that they can provide. I'll just say right now that I think every single item that's sold in the item shops should be increased by at least 5 coins. But that's a very broad statement, so let's get into some specific examples. Let's start with the triple dice. This item starts being sold in the item shops around halfway through the game, with the exception of Woody Woods, where it can be purchased from the start of the game. It's priced at 10 coins, which is very cheap. Here's the thing, movement in this game is extremely important, especially for the boards where the star is constantly moving. So for Spaceland, Woody Woods, and Horrorland, the triple dice is super valuable because you can increase your chances of reaching a star before your opponents. Not to mention, Woody Woods and Horrorland are just massive boards in general, so using double or triple dice is essential if you want to move anywhere. I don't have footage of this, but I had a game on Horrorland recently where one of my friends used the triple dice, rolled a 24, and was able to collect 3 stars in one turn. I don't even think that should be possible in the first place, but that's just how the board works, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. But if a single item is capable of yielding results like that, I do think that the cost should be increased. I think 20 coins would be a perfect price for the triple dice. And while we're at it, make the double dice cost 10 coins instead of 5. Alright, you all knew it was coming. It's time to talk about the golden pipe. Once again, this item starts being sold in the item shops around midway through the game, priced at 25 coins. When used, it will warp you directly in front of a star, and you're then allowed to roll directly after, which guarantees the star. The good news is that this item isn't sold on every map. On Peach's Birthday Cake and Horrorland, the golden pipe will never appear in the shops. However, they can still be obtained through item minigames, as well as being a bonus item that someone can receive for the final 5 turns. But to be honest, this is how I think it should be for every board. On the maps that do sell the golden pipe, it gets to a point where the game just starts turning into a golden pipe war, and a lot of the strategy is thrown out the window. But what contributes to this is the low cost of the golden pipe. While 25 coins isn't cheap by any means, it's pretty unlikely that you won't be able to afford this, especially if it's late game. And yes, I understand that the golden pipe is technically a 45 coin item since the star costs 20. But still, from my experience, as well as from what I've seen many other people say online, the golden pipe is too cheap for how overpowered it is. If it must be sold in the shops, I think 35 coins would be a fairer price. But again, as I said earlier, I would prefer if the golden pipe wasn't sold in the shops at all. It's so valuable that I think it should be placed in the same hierarchy as some of the other special items, such as the Boo Bell or the Double Star card. So my ultimate solution to this golden pipe fiasco is this. Make the golden pipe a special item for every map. Therefore, it can only be obtained through item minigames or as a bonus for 3rd or 4th place in the last 5 turns. They could then introduce a new item that replaces the golden pipe in the shops, being sold for 20 coins. When this item is used, it will warp you anywhere between 5 to 10 spaces away from the star, randomly. This way, it won't be guaranteed that you'll get the star on the same turn that you use the item. As for the name of this item, I'm not sure what it could be. Maybe they could call it the bronze pipe or something. Okay, so we covered my issues with items that are already in the game. But now, I want to get into items that aren't in the game. These are items that don't exist as of now, but if they were to be introduced in a future update, I think they would benefit the game greatly. First, let's talk about boo repellent. I think it would be great if there was an item in Mario Party Superstars that served as a counter to boo, because as of right now, using boo to steal coins or stars is really powerful, and your opponents can't really do anything about it if you have the money to steal a star. Now, while I haven't played any of the older Mario Party games, I am aware that boo repellent was an actual item in Mario Party 3, as well as the Gad light in Mario Party 4, which is more or less the same thing. From my understanding, the way that boo repellent worked in Mario Party 3 was that if you have the item in your inventory, it would activate immediately if someone attempted to steal stars or coins from you. It cost 10 coins in the item shop, and it could only be used once. Honestly, if they just kept boo repellent exactly the same and brought it into Mario Party Superstars, I wouldn't mind that at all. I think it should cost way more than 10 coins though, with how the economy works in Superstars. Maybe 20 or 25 coins. Or they could nerf the items that you have to use it ahead of time, and it's only active for 3 turns or something. Either way, the game just needs some form of a counter to boo. This next one is going to be a little controversial, but I would like to see some form of a reverse item. Now, I've heard that the reverse mushroom from Mario Party 3 was extremely overpowered, so let's nerf it a little bit. It will basically serve as a reverse cursed dice block. If you activate the reverse mushroom, you will only roll a die that's numbered 1 to 3, and you'll move backwards however many spaces you roll. You can use it on opponents if you wish, but it can be cancelled out with other dice related items, similar to the cursed dice block. I don't think this will be too OP, especially if they make it a rare item. And before you comment, yes, I do know that there is technically already a reverse item on Woody Woods, if you get the reverse block fruit. But that's only in one part of the map, and it serves as more of a hindrance there anyways, since you most likely do want to go that route so you can access the boo. Now, let's get into what I consider to be the next biggest problem with this game, the minigames. No, I'm not talking about the collection of minigames, but rather how certain minigames are scored. Let's get the worst culprit out of the way. Bumper balloon cars. First of all, the time limit needs to be extended for this game. 30 seconds is not long enough. But no matter of the time limit, a draw should not result in everyone getting coins. In fact, no one should get coins, because then people would actually be enticed to try in this minigame. 90% of the time that this minigame comes up, it just results in everyone standing still just to get a guaranteed 10 coins. There are other minigames that are guilty of this too, such as bumper balls, but at least that minigame has a much longer time limit. Speaking of bumper balls though, the platform needs to shrink as more players get eliminated. This minigame ends in a two-way tie majority of the time, unless the two players start taking risks. But again, why take that risk when the two of you can just make a pact and both get 10 coins? There are also a few minigames in this collection that require completion to win when all of your opponents have already been eliminated. A few examples that come to my head are Sneak and Snore, Handcar Havoc, and Bobsled Run. If your opponents have already been eliminated, you've already beaten them. I don't understand why the game requires you to keep going and make it to the finish line. And to make things worse, if you lose after your opponents, the game just counts it as a draw. What? Okay, so now I'm just going to discuss some issues I have with specific minigames. I guess you could say this is kinda nitpicking, but some of this stuff really needs to be addressed. Let's start with Piranha Pursuit. This might be the dumbest minigame in the entire collection. If the single player has any sense of hand-eye coordination, they will always win. There is nothing that the team of 3 can do. And there's not even any strategy to the team of 3, you just spam ground pounds. You would think that coordinating your ground pounds to be in sync with each other would make the Piranha Plant move faster, but no. Sneak and Snore. This minigame needs to speed up the animation of hiding in the barrel. You absolutely have to let go of your control stick before the Chain Chomp wakes up, otherwise you're a goner. I understand that the timing of the Chain Chomp waking up is supposed to be random, but it's very frustrating when you clearly let go of your control stick before he wakes up, yet the game doesn't register it in time because the animation is too slow. Also, the CPUs cheat so hard on this one. Why are they able to duck after the Chain Chomp wakes up? I know that CPUs cheating in Mario Party is a common thing, but at least try to make it less obvious. Honeycomb Havoc. The concept of this game is fine, but the execution is ruined by its slow pace and lack of options. Why can you only select 1 or 2 fruits? If you could select 3 or maybe even 4 fruits, there'd be a lot more strategy, and the game would go by a lot quicker. Tug of War. Do I really need to explain this one? It's dumb because even though the game warns you that using your palm can be irritating to the skin and can damage the control stick, everyone knows that using your palm is more efficient. Now yes, everyone can agree not to use their palm to make it fair, but then it just creates a weird dynamic where you know you're not using your full potential. Plus, if you're playing online, then you won't really know for sure if everyone isn't using their palm. I don't know. I just think they should have reworked the controls for this one, or simply not have included it at all. Well, that pretty much covers it for the minigames. There are still a few minigames that I have minor issues with, but again, for the most part, they did pretty well with the minigames this time around. I genuinely do enjoy the majority of them. However, one final thing that I'll touch on is that I wish we could have the ability to ban minigames, or create our own minigame packs. Imagine how convenient it would be if you could just ban the minigames that you don't like. The ability to create your own minigame packs would also be great. I know that the game does offer some preset packs, which is nice, but more customization options can never hurt. The bonus stars in Mario Party Superstars are good, but there's one really odd design choice that the developers made. So if you have classic bonus stars enabled, there are 3 bonus stars, which is how it should be. But if you have normal bonus stars enabled, there are only 2 of them. Why? Now, if you do a 30-turn game, then there will be 3 normal bonus stars. But why only for 30 turns? While I personally like 30-turn games, not everyone has the time or patience for that. It's just so weird to me that classic bonus stars are always there, no matter of the turn count, but when it's normal bonus stars, it's always 2, with one exception. Why not just let us choose how many bonus stars we want? And better yet, why not just let us choose which bonus stars we want it to be as well? To be honest, it would be cool if there was an option to enable every bonus star, creating the ultimate Mario Party experience. Maybe they could lock that behind only 30 turns. Okay, maybe I'm getting a little carried away now. This next thing is something that I think everyone can agree on. We need more boards and characters. Whether it's free DLC or paid, I don't care. But Nintendo, just know that I will gladly throw my money at you for any form of DLC for this game. Right now, we have 5 boards, which isn't a horrible number, but if you look at the rest of the series, Mario Parties 1 through 9 all had at least 6 boards, so come on, there has to be more on the way. I did hear that a data mine discovered that there's apparently code in the game for 2 more boards, so that's great news. Assuming those 2 boards actually happen, it would be great if down the line, they could add even more. However, something that Mario Party Superstars might need just as badly are more characters. As of now, there are only 10 to choose from, which is pretty low. I mean, just look at Super Mario Party. There were so many characters. I can't imagine that bringing some of these guys over would be too difficult, since I'm pretty sure Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars run on the same engine. If they want to add any of this stuff as free DLC, great. But something I was thinking Nintendo could do is create some paid DLC packs. So for example, one pack could cost $10, and that would include 1 new board, a few new characters, and 5 new minigames or so. Either way, I just really hope that there's some DLC for this game. We shouldn't have to watch these same cutscenes and explanations every time we start a match. I know that the whole point of this game is that it's supposed to be a throwback, but come on. We don't need to see pictures of how the maps used to look on the N64 every single time we enter a game. If they really want to keep it there, at least give us the option to disable it. When you're playing online, you should be allowed to open up the map when it's not your turn so that you can strategize. Or at least show us the map when an opponent is looking at it. Instead, we just have to stare at their character. I do like how it actually shows the layout of the current board on the map that they're holding, but show us the actual map. I think Spaceland would really benefit from having another item shop on the other side of the map. It can be very hard to get any items on this stage, especially when the star is on the complete opposite side. Why is the jingle that plays when you press L and R so loud compared to everything else? Just listen to this. Probably 80% of the people that I've played with in person have made some kind of comment on how loud that is. This is really nitpicky, but they could make this a little quieter. They need to nerf the B button in the main hub world. Accidentally pressing it once will completely kick you and your friends back to the starting screen, and you're gonna have to select everything all over again. Alright guys, well, that about covers it for all the issues I have with Mario Party Superstars. The good news is that a lot of the things that I listed could easily be fixed with a simple patch, especially the minigames. Now, I know majority of this video was kind of me just complaining, but I do want to stress that I actually really like this game. I think it's the best Mario Party game that we've gotten in a long time. If I truly didn't like it, then I wouldn't have cared enough to make this video. If you guys have any issues with this game that I didn't mention, feel free to drop them in the comments. Or, if you disagreed with anything that I said, feel free to comment why. I'm totally open to discussion. But with all that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.